Forget the ridiculous Kozlowski hearing in the Senate. Real UFO disclosure is happening south of the border. That's right, we've got to talk about the Nazca Mummies, guys. So get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, first of all, per Jaime Maussan, new scientific study led by Joachim Henson from the University of Southern Denmark. And that may not be how you pronounce Joachim in Denmark. But the study rules as authentic the Nazca tridactyl beings, including the small beings in their implants, outside of human scientific knowledge. And I'll link to this, and you can read the full scientific paper at your leisure. But there you go. We have yet another scientific paper about the Nazca mummies, and we've already had 2 peer-reviewed papers about Maria. Just fantastic stuff. Meanwhile, we got 2 new bodies to talk about: Paloma and Fernando. Here is Fernando. And Fernando is really interesting because not only is he very similar to Montserrat, but maybe a male equivalent to Montserrat, with his, golden disc in his head and, similar overall anatomy. But he's the first specimen so far to be discovered with external genitalia. That's right. I'm not going to say it, guys. I'm going to keep it classy. But there you go. Fernando was definitively male. Now we have a further glimpse at how some of the Nazca mummies reproduced. We know that Montserrat, for example, would have given birth to a live birth. So more mammalian, more human, and so was Fernando, despite being distinctly tridactyl and very other, right? And here we have another look at Fernando over here. Big square jaw, very manly fellow, fascinated by these discs and these implants. I would love to know what that's all about. Meanwhile, we also have information about Paloma, the other being. And here is one of the scans of Paloma, where we actually get to see, all about Paloma. Fascinating stuff. And we have more details about these incredible beings. For example, Paloma had hair.
About this body is what you're mentioning. It's the only one where hair was found. The whole head is covered with hair, with coppery brown hair, very red head.
Very red head. That makes me wonder if there's some link between the Nazca mummies and the elongated skull people of Paracas. Not only were they living at around the same time and in the same region, but there's red hair on at least one of the Nazca beings, as well as the Paracas beings. Now, there is different genetics involved in some of those beings. Some of them seem to hail from perhaps the Black Sea region. At least that's what Brian Forster thinks. However, one of the red-headed Paracas skull beings seems to have come from, I think, Scotland. The red-headed one, at least half of its genetics, its mother or father, came from Scotland. Very interesting. And now we have a red-headed connection with an elongated skull tridactyl in Nazca. So makes me wonder if there was a connection, maybe even some interbreeding. Maybe the elongated skull people of Paracas were the offspring of unions between the Nazca beings and humans. Just throwing it out there. I don't know how that's possible, but, these guys have crazy technology and are clearly aces at hybridization. And we're going to get more into that later. Of course, we don't know if they had access to that technology or if that was reserved by their creator beings. Per Wixie, says Cosmic Rabbit speaks with Mexican forensic doctor and Nazca Mummies researcher Jose Zalce Benitez on the latest 3 tridactyl bodies that he has shown straight after the Peru hearings. The discovery of genitals is a first for this discovery and would go a long way to how they reproduce. A metal implant on the forehead was the same as Montserrat. a metal implant in the jaw that has caused bone inflammation and caused abnormal growths from being in there too long. So interesting that some of these implants either were put in incorrectly or were having untoward effects on at least one of the mummies. Fascinating. The skull is 30% bigger, like Maria. Dental work has been done on them, also like Maria. That's right, the Nazca mummies had a dentist, guys. Nazca mummies had a dentist. And a museum, hopefully, will be built to show this discovery to the world. Absolutely, that is fascinating. I hope that happens. Meanwhile, we have a press release from the Inkari Institute in Tiri Jaman. A major step forward was taken today in the case of the non-human mummies of Nazca, talking about the latest Peruvian hearing. This is a few days old. Thanks to the public hearing organized in the Congress of the Republic of Peru on the initiative of the Culture and Cultural Heritage Commission, important analytical results and conclusions were given on this occasion. Firstly, an exhaustive account was given of the analysis report drawn up by radiologists on the regional hospital in Ica at the request of the Peruvian Ministry of Culture following the HD scans carried out on the Maria and Wawita mummies on September 13th. The document insists on the following points. The report does not say that Maria and Wawita were fabricated as part of a modern fraud. 2. The same report does not say that the bodies of Maria and Wawita were modified or altered. 3. The report mentions the absence of a phalanx in Maria, which was detached from the finger during an analysis carried out in August 2017. And that's important because sometimes that missing phalanx is used by debunkers to say that they were fabricated. So yeah, not actually missing, but displaced during scientific study. 5. Finally, in the current state of research, it neither confirms nor invalidates the results of the analyses we have carried out in recent years. So yeah, there you go. There's some findings. And also, of course, we have that new result from Denmark that says the mummies are legit, guys. Meanwhile, we have more reporting by Pavel Ibarra and Dr. Ricardo Rangel, about the DNA of Maria. And Dr. Rangel is saying that, yeah, Maria's a hybrid. And of course, she's a hybrid. He's saying the DNA proves this. Now, I've talked before about my reservations about the DNA because my wife is a molecular biologist and she's looked at it, and she's had one of her friends who is a bioinformatics person, somebody that actually does the sequencing of DNA. And yeah, they weren't, super impressed by the DNA, but they didn't really follow up on that. They didn't look at the source information about it. So who knows? But, they were a little iffy on the DNA results. So I would love for the DNA to be examined by multiple top tier, Western, labs. It needs money to get really good DNA analyses. Unfortunately, you got to put lots of money into it, and you got to be top tier labs. So, but, I love Dr. Rangel, and for all I know, his conclusions are absolutely spot on. And, but whether, that's the case or not, clearly Maria is a hybrid. Clearly they are all hybrids, or at least created in some way. Now, there might be some wiggle room on the little guys who seem to have more other DNA than Maria did. But they were all clearly built along the same template, right? They all have 3 fingers, 3 toes. All the different species have implants in them. Clearly, pointing to a similar author behind them all, if you will. But what's so fascinating about them is there's so much differentiation in them. The little guys, reptilian, egg-laying beings. The Maria in the Fernando, human size, would have given live births, had external genitalia, more mammalian, more human, even ape-like in some ways. but also tridactyl. It's crazy. And then you have the even bigger guys, the giant hands that we have of the 3 meter tall beings. And of course, there are rumors or even larger beings, but we don't have any solid information on that. But clearly, there was some program in place by somebody to create different varieties built along the same template or idea or with some original stock DNA that made them all tridactyl. We need some answers on all of that, guys. This is where the focus needs to be. If Arrow were a real outfit actually trying to get to the bottom of UFOs, they would be studying the Nazca mummies. But at the moment, I want them as far away from the Nazca mummies as at all possible. But yeah, just amazing work by all of these great researchers and scientists, getting us fascinating information about the most important thing going on in ufology right now. This is disclosure, folks. We have got UFO disclosure in Peru, but it goes even beyond Peru. Because check this out, guys. This was sent to me by Christopher Noel, and thank you so much, Christopher. I think this is awesome. Now, all of this is preliminary about these particular beings in this specimen. So maybe take this as, as a dessert after the Nazca Mummy feast. But very intriguing dessert because we have these beings that are more avian. They have these beaks found in this cave in Tula Hidalgo, Mexico. Now, these are not tridactyl, they are tetradactyl. They have 4 fingers, 4 toes. And I haven't seen a lot of good research being done on these things, but they are super intriguing. I've reported before about other little beings found in Mexico. So yeah, the reach of the little beings, or some little beings, definitely extended up into Mexico and seemingly around the world, judging by Alyoshinka in Russia, the Siberian being, and so on. But Josue says these are tetradactyls and are also covered in diatomaceous earth, just like the Nazca beings. There is another who looks deformed at birth and therefore impossible to fake. Also, lizard-like features shown. And some images of these beings. They look legit. I mean, you can see the X-rays and everything. I don't know from X-rays, but let me know what you guys think. Similar being with a crest and deformed head found there as well. Super intriguing. Yep, it's got that crest on the back and kind of a beak-like face. I would love some more information about this. So if you see it before I do, let me know. But there you go. Possible other beings found south of the border. This is where ufology should be focused on, or at least a lot of it. We need answers on this stuff. We need money being poured into the study of what's going on in Mexico and especially Peru. This should be a all hands on deck thing. This should be headlines all around the world. We've got bodies, y'all. We've got bodies, and they are crazy, amazing bodies with gold plates in their head. Some of them would have given live births. Some of them were small reptilian beings. Some may have had wing-like appendages on some of the little guys. So it's just incredible stuff. Clearly not enough research is being done. More and more people are talking about the Nazca mummies, though. So we are winning this battle. We are winning this war. There was a recent hearing about them in Peru that was all in all fairly favorable, with the ultimate conclusion that we need further research. It wasn't like that hearing was the end of the story, and that the politicians had heard all they needed to hear about the Nazca mummies. So actually fairly encouraging, even if you had the Ministry of Culture guys spewing their disinformation, which of course they're going to do, sadly. But I do think we are winning this fight, and the word is getting out about the Nazca mummies. We've got bodies, y'all. Let me know what you think about it all in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I'd sure appreciate it. Smash the like button and the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below. See the link. Or you can become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.